Yo guys, what's up? So I just finished my first day of school. It's like 6:39 right now on a Monday. And I'm really tired, but I want to film this video because I think this is a really interesting thing to talk about, right? Why I personally haven't been doing my homework for the past probably 2.5 years. 2 years honestly, or 1.5. And I kind of really want to explain, why you probably should not do your homework as well. Now, before you get me into trouble, right, do understand that I'm not advocating for you to not do your homework, but once I explain really the thought process behind this, you can figure out yourself, right, whether you think it's the best thing, to do for you. The thing is, people, we all probably have goals, right? If you click this, you're probably a teenager, you're pretty ambitious, you have goals that you want to achieve in life that you think would make your life much better. But 99% of people do not achieve their goals. And it's very, very simple, right? It's because they're not taking the right actions for an extended period of time that will lead them to their goal, because the universe is simply cause and effect. So, since achieving your goals is all about doing the right actions, then success can be boiled down, or achieving your goal can be boiled down to one word, which is alignment, right? Which is, are the things I'm doing leading me to my goal? It's literally as simple as asking that. And so one really, really helpful thing that I've been doing for me to hit my goals, and what I've seen a lot of successful people do, is they treat their goals like a person. And they constantly ask them, okay, goal, what is the thing I should do, in order for me to achieve you. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let's rephrase that. Right, they constantly, ask their goal, does doing this action move me further or closer to you? And that's, I think, a really, really important question that you should ask yourself as well, right? Because often in life, there's many different things that we could do, many different paths that we can take. And oftentimes, we have all these different desires, right? Everything is extremely unclear. There's a lack of clarity. And there's many different desires that might be implanted in you from, your parents. It could be just society. It could be stuff that you see on social media. And very rarely do we have that sort of, North Star that we look to as our goal. And just ask it, right? Just asking it, okay, goal, what do you need me to do at this juncture so that I have the highest possible chance of hitting you, right? Of achieving the goal. And I think that is really, really important, right? And so the first step to this is really having an extremely clear goal in mind. It could be, trying to hit 10K a month. It could be, getting a girlfriend. I don't know. It could be, getting 100 marks, or like top 3 in your school, right, with your grades. It could be, winning the NSG. So something like that, right? Basically having an extremely clear goal and then filtering all your actions through that goal itself as if the goal was a person. So for instance, if my goal was to make, let's say, 100K a month, and right now, as I'm going through life, I'm faced with two decisions. I'm faced with a decision. The first decision is either I can take a scholarship and go to a university that many people think, right, is a dream, right? Or the second path is I can basically take that money and instead go to a mentor, right, or invest in mentors to learn a lot more from them. Now, obviously, my parents would probably want the first option more for me, right? If I am extremely, status hungry, I might also prefer the first option. But then I would look at my goal and ask my goal, okay, goal, I want to hit 100K a month as quickly as possible. Which of these paths should I take? And then your goal will typically give you the answer. And you have to remove all your preferences and just listen to the goal. Because sometimes the answers that your goal gives you is not what you really want to do. And in this case, right, doing homework, for me, does not really make sense because it doesn't move me to my goals whatsoever, right? My goal being to, attain financial freedom and time freedom. It doesn't move me towards that because I know that that's not the path that I want to take. And I think something that we really need to understand is life has a fixed cost of suffering, but basically there's a variable reward. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, you understand the saying that, life is suffering, right? Like, I've suffered a lot. You have probably suffered a lot as well. You know, people that you love die, bad things happen, you sometimes get betrayed. Life is going to hurt, and it hurts for everyone. But the thing is, the rewards is not fixed, right? That's why some people, you see, though everyone suffer, some people, you know, have a decent family and they're making, let's say, decent income. Someone else could be making, you know, 200k a month, 1 million a month, living their dream life. Another person could be making, you know, 1 million a month with their dream partner, right? And they're saving millions of people at the same time. And, you know, they're running charities as well. The rewards is extremely variable, right? It can differ a lot. So why not just pick the path that you really want to go? Now that's one thing in mind. If the path that you have chosen is, okay, my goal is I really want to get into this amazing university, then of course, right, do everything you can. Make sure all of your actions are aligned to that goal. If that means doing your homework, then fucking do the homework, right? And at this stage, I think there's this formula that I've been thinking about for quite some time, and it's how performance basically equals to value, which is the inherent value of an activity, multiplied by the reps at which you do it, right? And bracket that, multiplied by the focus you dedicate to it, multiplied by time. And the thing is, most people either do extremely low value activities that do not contribute to their goals whatsoever. For instance, if you want to achieve top scores for your exam, but instead of doing exam papers, you go ahead and, you know, read the notes over and over again. That's a very, very low value activity. And even if you spend much more time than the other person, right? Maybe someone else in your class that often achieve great grades. You maybe study 2 times more than him, but your grades still suck because the value of the task that you're doing is not as high as what he is doing, which is probably like mind maps, right? Doing test papers, etc. And if your goal does not happen to be, you know, related to academics whatsoever, and you probably, if you have a goal as well to become an entrepreneur, one lesson that has really, really helped me is the fact that, you know, there are no obligations, they're just consequences. There are no social obligations as well, just social consequences. And this is like a huge thing, man, that I see most people who want to start their business struggle with, right? Because especially as teenagers, you probably have a lot of commitments, right? For instance, your parents might ask you to go to weddings. For instance, you know, your friends might ask you to hang out a lot with them. And even though you want to as well, right, you at this period in time, right, this period, you would prefer to just spend the time doing work, working on a business, working on yourself instead. And what most people think is that, oh, I'm obligated to do it, right? There's no obligation. There's only a consequence, right? Let's say there's actually a wedding yesterday that my relatives had, and I told my mom that I was not going to it. Well, most people have seen that as an obligation that they needed to fulfill, right? I understand that there was no obligation, there's just a consequence, which is, number one, people might talk about, you know, why is Ethan always at home? Why is he not going out to weddings, right? Number two, they might think, oh, Ethan is really, really rude for not showing up to someone's wedding. And the question is, do you care about what these people think about your life and your actions? Because the reality is that everyone is going to die, right? They're going to die and you're going to die. And so ultimately, it doesn't really matter what you want to do. Right now, obviously, don't go around spreading chaos, right? I don't know, stabbing people, murdering them. Obviously, don't do that kind of shit. But there are no obligations, just consequences. And I think this is such a powerful frame that's really helped me, you know, skip all of the things that a lot of people would think they really need to go. But in actuality, right, they could actually just skip and do what they really want to do. And the reason why this is so important is because I have a friend of mine, and okay, he's pretty close to me, and he's trying to start his own thing as well. Now, he has this business partner as well, and one recurring pattern that I see his business partner, which is also my friend, right, one recurring thing that he does is he likes to say yes to everything. So every single opportunity that comes, you know, into his life, he likes to say yes to it, right? So for instance, it could be, okay, a teacher comes to them and say, okay, I want you to organize this event for the school. And he says yes immediately. Right? His friends come and say, okay, I really want you to I would love for you to come to this party with me. And he would say yes, right? And the thing is, when you say yes to all these things, you need to understand that you're also saying no to something in particular, right? It's just that that no is not clearly defined until you actually sit down and think about it. And when you're broke, right, you have no leverage at all. The only currency you have is time. The only thing that you can trade, with the universe with is time. And if you give your time to every single person, to everyone who asks for it, right, how can you expect yourself to be rich? How can you expect yourself to, achieve your goals? Time right now is the only currency that you have. And so every time you say yes to something, just know that you're saying no. Wow, that rhymes. Just know that you're saying no to yourself and your dreams. Right? Unless that thing, obviously, is in alignment with your goals, like we talked about earlier. Just think about a laser, right? It's the reason why a laser can literally cut through glass is because it's so sharp and concentrated. And that's really how you want your life to be like. And all these people performing at the highest level, they are extremely unbalanced, man. They are extremely unbalanced. They could spend, 6 to 12 months doing nothing except work. And then after that, they look at their life, they see, okay, right now my relationships are kind of suffering. Then they really go all into relationships or dating or something like that. Right? That's how they live their life. And it's really, really fun living that way, right? Because when you try to be balanced, you try and be in the middle, it leads to mediocrity, right? It's literally in a word, mediocre, right? So, I feel like I'm drunk now, but yeah, this is such a rant. But basically, to kind of summarize this shit, because I know that I'll probably be looking at this in the future, you want to audit everything through the lens of, will this move me closer to my goal? And if it's not, reject it, no matter how painful it is to you. Because just know that every time you're saying no to something like that, you're saying yes to yourself, you're saying yes to your dreams, and you're one step closer to your goal. And the pain that you're feeling right now is not only a revenge for your current self that has caused you so much pain in your life, but it's also the price of doing business. It's a selection criteria that many people will not go through, right? It's a selection process that will throw a lot of our competitors behind. For instance, something that I really sacrificed, and it still hurts me to this day, is having an amazing social life, right? I'm extremely extroverted by nature. I love going out with people. I love chatting shit. I love being stupid around them. And that's something that I really had to sacrifice because of business. And whenever things get really, really bad, things get really, really shit, I kind of smile to myself, right? Because I know that, good luck to anyone else who has to fucking try, right? Yeah, and so that's basically it for this video. I'm not saying don't do your homework, right? Don't report me to the teachers, but vet your actions very, very carefully. If they bring you closer to your goal and it's a high value action, do it. If it's not, find something else.